Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I got the chance to fish with a buddy over the weekend, had an absolute great time, but made a little bit of a boo-boo when I was putting the boat on the trailer after we were done fishing. And I don't know exactly what I did, but I think I strained a tendon or tore a tendon in my wrist. If you're a member on the channel, you probably heard me talking about this the other day, but I thought that this would be a good video to do because there's something that I feel like all of you should have in your boat. This is not a sponsor plug, but this is something that has come in handy for me so many times. And it's this tape. This is called rock tape. And you probably see, if you watch like the Olympics, you see runners running with it where they have it on their shoulders or their legs. Um, it's a really good athletic tape. And the reason I think you should have this in your boat is multifaceted. So this is just the box of it. This is the box that I have. My wife carries this in her chiropractic clinic. So it's something that I've actually been using, I'm going to say for 15 years. And I've kept some in my boat for that long. Um, and the cool part with this is it's kind of a stretchy tape. So it comes in a big long roll. So you can cut it for whatever shapes and sizes that you need. But it's a stretchy tape. So when you take it off the tape, it's stretchy. So like I'll pull it tight based on where I need it. And it gives me support, really, is what it does. So for me, it's been something I've used for tendonitis for a long time. The fact that now my wrist is really pretty banged up, it gives it some comfort. And the nice thing is it's not necessarily a brace, right? It's not going to be a brace for it where it's going to keep my wrist completely still. But what it feels like is somebody's holding my wrist right now. That's what it feels like. It gives it just a little bit of support that helps with the pain and just helps it be a little bit more manageable. So from an injury standpoint, I love it. Like performance wise, I think it's a great thing to have in the boat. But it's not just good for necessarily the injuries or injuries like a muscle type issue. This is really, really good stuff to have in case you cut yourself in the boat. So I'll actually use it almost as a bandage. Now, I don't know that it's a good thing to use for a bandage, but it works extremely well in terms of covering up a cut. So say you swing a bass into the boat and you're using braided line and your hands are wet and you get one of those slices right through your finger. I'll take a chunk of this and wrap it around my finger and it will hold absolutely perfect. And it prevents anything from getting in that cut. It prevents the line from getting in the cut. Really, really nice for that. I've used it. If I've cut myself or buried a hook in myself, I can take a piece, just cut it off, put it over it, and it'll stick there for days. I mean, literally, I took the stuff I had on yesterday. I wore for two and a half days. I had 2 showers while I was wearing it. Like you can make it last a long, long time, and it sticks very well. And then the other thing I want to point out too that I've used it for is a substitute almost to using like sunscreen. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is UPF. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I can tell you that it has worked for me. Specifically, as an example, I'm back in, I think it was 2015 or 16. I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I was on doxycycline. It's an antibiotic that I was on for like 30 days. And one of the side effects to the doxy is that it makes your skin extremely skin sensitive. And by skin sensitive, I'm telling you, I've never, ever burned parts of my body like I did when I had that. I was on it right before I went to a Forest Wood Cup. I was down that year. I think we were fishing like Wachita. And I went there knowing that my skin was going to be sensitive, but I didn't realize how sensitive. So I went there covered up to the point where I had, all my skin, sun protective clothing on. I wore gloves and I got off the water that first day and the gloves I was wearing, cut off right around the first knuckle and I was burnt. The tips of my fingers were burnt under my fingernails, like everything was burnt. So I actually took the tape and cut strips and then covered the backs of my fingers. And I've done the same thing. You know, there's times where I've forgotten to take, you know, have a good sun shirt with a hood on it, or I've forgotten sunscreen and I've taken little pieces and put it over my ears or places that I know I'm getting burnt. So there's just a lot of uses for it. It's not an expensive thing. I think they're 25 bucks a roll, but a roll will last you like a long, long time. The one other tip I want to give you too is, so when you cut a chunk off, you'd end up with, say, a rectangular piece. I highly recommend rounding those corners off. So you can see in these cases, I've actually taken scissors and rounded the corners off. It'll stick way better. If you leave those sharp corners, those will tend to peel. And when they start to peel, that's when it ends up starting to come off, and you might get a piece that starts flapping. But if you round it all like I've got, it will definitely help. But this is something that I highly recommend. You know, I would give you the link to my wife's chiropractic clinic to buy it, but I'll probably find just a link for it on like Amazon or something. And maybe if you want it, you can buy it that way, because it's not necessarily like the easiest thing to buy. It's not like you can go all over the place and find it, but the rock tape specifically is the good. There's another one called KT tape, and that's the one I started using. This stuff, in my opinion, is significantly better than KT tape. It holds much better. It's it's better overall. So this is what it looks like. It's called rock tape. The other nice thing is it comes with like instructions as to how to apply it. So if I open up the pamphlet, it gives you the directions, but it'll tell you specifically like where to apply it, how to apply it, you know, for knee pain, back pain, all the, you know, a bunch of different things where you can apply it just to help. And it's amazing. Like, I was very, very skeptical at first, but it's really amazing how well just that little bit of support will actually provide comfort to me, whether it's the tennis elbow or whether it's like my wrist pain right now. I've used it before for knee pain. Just one of those things, you know, that I think it's worth having in the boat. So I wanted to share it with you because I've been using it. I don't know that I ever would have thought about sharing this with you if it wasn't for the fact that I'm using it daily right now again. And if you see me in my videos wearing it, I'll probably have it on for several more weeks worth of videos, if not months at this point. Just because I think, based on what Dr. Sara is telling me, this could be a long road to recovery with respect to this. So I need to get it back into shape as fast as I can. The wrist is one of the worst injuries to have when you're talking about fishing for a living. So we got to get back in a better position on this. Anyways, check it out. Rock tape. Highly recommend it. Been using it for probably 15 years. I've been using it since before I was fishing professionally, and I think this was my 15th year, so maybe even 20 years at this point. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out there to recover from some of the pain that you're having as well. Stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow.